Okay, we are back. The studio is looking fantastic now. And yeah, Tim has been working a bit on his own and he has noticed some errors. I'm now finding time to work here again too, after a lot of projects that I had to catch up with in the workshop mostly, and also songwriting in the other room. And yeah, we've been having dropouts with these recording interfaces for the booth. And after trying switching some of these interfaces on and off, today I noticed that here on the mainframe, I was not getting a lock on this port here. So I'm now trying to switch the port. I'm taking one that is further down. And for that to work, let me just quickly show you. There is two things I would have to change in order to register these interfaces on a different kind of string or port. In the system's description file, I would have to tell the system that these interfaces are on port 7. The first 4 here and then the third on the second. That is port 7. And then I have to go into the connection file for the PowerPC and give them the new addresses, which now start with the address 0. They now start at the 384. Yeah, same as here. I have port respecting, well, and that's the difference. In this connection file, the ports are 1 to 4 for each card, right? So now I'm counting port 3, 0, there it is, 384. Let's restart the system and see how it works. Here we are. I'm setting up this console. I found a thing that I am not liking about it. Maybe the first one that is actually kind of a bummer. Now, when you're in the system setup, you have reference level and headroom. And reference level will determine on what volume 0 dB full scale in the digital domain will be. And then I do have a headroom. So this console does have a 0, but the meters, for example, they go to 10, right? So there is some playroom here to determine when I will reach analog full scale level. Maximum is plus 24, as you can see here. But if I do that, everything's pretty loud. So for my monitor volume, I'm always in the lower parts. And I don't know if you can hear it over the camera. I do get digital artifacts because the volume's turned all the way down here and the volume control seems like it's done digitally. So I'm losing bits if I'm not listening to things on full volume. Now, if I change that in the system settings and I say, give me a reference level of 0, and maybe keep the headroom of plus 9 dB so I can use the meter without it clipping. If I do that, and I turn it up now, less artifacts. But still, I mean, well, some of it is is coming from Ableton as well, right? Because I'm here in the minus 40 dB. But I notice it as well if I turn the volume down here, that I'm losing bits. Also, if I dim it, same thing. It's we're now listening in like 12 bits or something. So yeah, I would find a set. I would try a workaround. This is not optimal for me because normally in the studio you want the volume control to be done analog so that you exit the system with full scale 24 bits, right? and then turn it down in the analog domain. But yeah, not so here, which is sad. And I think the best workaround for that will be that I optimize the system so I maybe turn down the volume on the speakers so that I can go out as loud as possible here. Then I won't be able to turn up my system super loud, like crazy loud. But why should I? Okay, I tried to set up a first mix on the console here in the studio with all my setup. The auxes that I have in hardware form, as well as in the mix template that I had before. I started to hook up some of the inserts so that I can use them. I made a plan for my RME, what channels are where. So I have this whole setup where on the output side I know, okay, I have mix left, right, then I have 2, 3, because DAW 1, 2, and 3 and 4 I can choose here directly for reference mixes. Then I start inputs on the board, then here mixes, inputs, and then inserts. And that also tells me that I do have 64 channels for board inputs with my interface. And that is very, very important, knowing that I have this amount of free channels right now. I mean, I could expand 56 more with another optical card, right? But also, if I check my DSP configs with the 60SP boards that I have, 64 makes complete sense. Then I can have auxes with more functionality, maybe more groups. Yeah, this looks sweet. For example, I could load this config for mixing, and then I'm good. Well, I gotta say, it's a ton of work setting all this thing up. And I gotta get really, really used to the setup so that it is fast. I spend a lot of time just naming every channel. I don't know if in the future I have channels pre-named, probably a mix of them, right? I will always have like a kick channel and lead vocal channel, and then a fixed channel and stuff like that. And then I will probably have blank channels in between so that I will not name 30 channels per mix, but maybe like 10. And that's doable. That's completely alright to have the custom one named. Yeah, all the auxes, I want to have all of this that I did today kind of like pre-set up so that I load a preset, route my channels, and then I am good to go. And then probably because my assistant is prepping sessions for me, I will find a setup where he can also pre-route all of my channels kind of on the board. We see about that. Well, some of the work is quite a lot of work. Others of it is like maybe 5 minutes. So yeah, I think if I have stuff also pre-labeled in here, that if I open my external outs now, for example, yeah, look right now in Ableton, that's all just numbers, but I can give them names and be like, okay, the kick is around here, lead vocal is here, and then I have space in between that I can fill. And that should also be very, very quick and easy. But otherwise, man, look at it. Still not getting used to how amazing this looks now. And I think it works pretty good. I'm super, super excited for the first proper mixes. I will do a test mix. But I don't have too much time because there's 3 commercial mixes that are waiting to be done. And I'm just gonna go for it, right? Here we are again. And I say again because, well, yesterday I failed to write the preset that I made all day. And he even told me that he had problems. I don't know why. But yeah, here we are. And I'm doing the setup again. It's not too bad. I am learning the console more and more. And my preset yesterday was kind of developing as I went. And I already know a few things that I wanted to do better. I loaded a different DSP configurations because I knew I can realistically only play 64 channels. So I chose one with more groups and a more big auxes, right? I already routed all my inputs to the nodes that I had for the RME. And then also I put all these channels now on the board on page A. And I made all of them stereo, so they will have the balance and everything coming from Ableton. I know I could save 1 or 2 tracks here and there in a project, for example, with a mono kick or a mono bass. But with modern production, actually, I quite a lot of times do have a stereo kick because it comes in with some kind of room or whatever on it. So, yeah. And now for this track, which is actually, it's a medium-sized production, I still have a few tracks left, and there is a lot of instruments that I could stem out in one group. But yeah, let's go from here. I have all my tracks on the board now. You see it goes up until B15, which is 48 tracks on side A, and then another 16 on side B. You only see the 15 because I made it a stereo track, as I said. And yeah, now next thing will be setting up groups to go to the summing, setting up the auxes so they go either back into the box for my reverbs there, or set them up so they go directly to hardware units that are being summed analog as well. And yeah, then I will continue. I will make presets for my inserts and stuff and see how it goes. Also, I would want to do kind of a quick measurement of the speakers, because if I'm starting to mix, I do want to make sure that my placement is all right. I don't know if I'm going to do a Sonarworks in here. I probably need a new Sonarworks license. Maybe I get it. We'll see. But yeah, let me just continue setting this up. And I'm so excited to finally mix on here. Woohoo! And here I am back again. Now the channels are named, so I can do the routing. I have my groups here, they're named as well. Naming all the channels is a pretty tedious task. I don't like it. It's taking too much time. It feels endless. I'll see that I have like a setup where I have channels pre-named, right? So that I have like all the percussive elements and the bass on one side, and then all instruments and vocals on the other side. And then while routing it in Ableton, I will give it a name. The outputs here will be named too. I can do that in Ableton so that I will route the kick to a kick track and then it appears here. Songs are similar, right? If I have songs that need an individual setup, I can always rename things, and I might leave, like for the instruments, right? I might leave that blank. Maybe I have, for example, 2 bass tracks, and if I need a third bass tracks for the instrument, I can take it and name it. But then stuff should be pre-named and maybe even pre-routed, right? So that if I mix on this board, things are pre-set up. And that's very, very important if I want to mix fast and efficient and with the most fun. It should be streamlined. And yeah. But that's what I'm going to figure out now, right? Trial and error. Remember, incorporates error as well. So I'm taking my time here, setting this up, and yeah, but so far, I mean, using the console is fun. Like the naming, not so much with the old keyboard, but like routing and everything, setting this up. I love these lamps here that you use for routing. I love that you can navigate through the channels here. If that is all done, I see the names down there. So I can do a lot from the mixing position by just flicking through channels and stuff. And then once I do have a preset configuration, I'm pretty sure I will remember numbers. Like, you know, For example, I will know that maybe my kick is always, I don't know, 15, 16 or whatever, so I can address things really quick and change them. Looking forward, but until then, lots to learn. Let's continue. Okay. System cooldown. I'm gonna go make a break. Walk this little puppy. Yeah. And yeah, I finally got to mix on it. And let me tell you, it felt amazing. I immediately locked into the hybrid workflow of using plugins in the box. I even did not get confused about the double solo logic. I do get confused with the double mouse and keyboard setup a lot. I pressed the wrong buttons. But knowing when to press solo where is amazing. If I work on plugins in the box, I press the solo there and I work on it. And then if I work on a board and use AFL or whatever to send stuff to reverbs, and let me tell you, this aux section feels so good. The temporary fader function controlling all my reverbs here immediately felt amazing. Really good. Also, the access fader here just chilling in the middle, accessing the tracks that I want to access and then control it from here is great. The panorama, incredible. Feels like I'm controlling like a bugger, like an excavator or something. So good. Sounds great. Still gotta figure like the gain staging more, right? Because the way I have it configured now, it doesn't run too hard through the analog gear, but it clips pretty fast. I did that in order for my monitoring level to be normal. Everything on this half sounds a bit crushed because the level is controlled or attenuated digitally, which is not nice. I want to have like at least an attenuator on the output, like an analog one, so that I can be more like on this side. That would be optimum with some headroom to listen to music loud if I want to. But ideally I wanted to have it here. Yeah, that's all for the future. It's using time now. Using. I want to do loads of mixes here. I want to do recordings. I'm gonna finish the mix with my mate, Chris, maybe today, so that I can take it home. I want to measure the speakers in the long term, yes, but right now I just wanted to get going and start working. We're gonna record vocals today. I'm having a vocal recording session tomorrow. I'm actually going to record a band next week. That's going to be really exciting. I'm going to record half a band a week later, so drums and bass for another project. I'm hyped. Let's go.